Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel and to the weekly segment I like to call Fragrance Friday. Today I will be sharing my 5 current most complimented fragrances. And as many fragrances as I love to wear, this list was relatively easy to put together because these are just the standouts. I mean, these 5 fragrances attract the most attention across the board from both men and women. If I'm wearing one of these fragrances out in public, there is a 99.9% chance somebody's going to make a comment. Maybe they'll pay me a compliment or simply ask me what I'm wearing. But trust me when I say that these 5 fragrances are head turners. Now, before we dive right in, if you're new, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. This is our Pink Sparkly Bubble on YouTube where we talk about luxury beauty, fragrance, and everything glam in between. So we hope you join our community by subscribing, hit the notification bell, and let's begin. These aren't in order by number of compliments or anything like that, but I am going to begin on the deeper, darker side of the spectrum, and then I'm going to work my way to the lighter side, which you won't want to miss because there is a special surprise at the end. But I'm going to begin with what is a classic fragrance. It is truly iconic, and that is Tom Ford Black Orchid. This was the first fragrance that Tom Ford ever created. The beautiful bottle is inspired by Art Deco architecture. Black Orchid contains notes of black truffle, bergamot, black orchid, black plum, noir gourmand accord, and patchouli. I wish I had blotter cards, but I don't. Oh, that is so beautiful. Black Orchid is such a sexy, seductive fragrance. It's very moody and sensual. It is a great date night fragrance, very fall, winter appropriate. I would say this is an evening scent, and it can be worn by both men and women. Even though it is marketed as a women's fragrance, there are plenty of men who love Black Orchid and they wear it beautifully. So I think that may be part of the reason why it appeals to both sexes. This fragrance has incredible lasting power, which is another reason I think it really stands out. When I spray this fragrance at the beginning of an evening, as I'm getting ready to go out, that's when it's the spiciest. But I've noticed that even hours later, at the end of the night, the next morning sometimes, I can still smell it lingering on me. It's still very potent, and not in an overpowering type of way, but it is a bold fragrance and it makes a statement. I also think that Black Orchid has achieved such a status that it's very recognizable. So I think that sort of connects you to a lot of people. So it opens the door and the gateway to conversation to ask, oh, what are you wearing? Oh, of course, Black Orchid. I thought that's what I detected on you. It kind of shrinks your community a little bit. It's like you're part of the club. You know this fragrance. It's very elegant. It's very luxurious. I don't even wear this on date nights usually, although it is appropriate. I find myself saving it for special occasions, maybe a special party or some sort of special occasion. Not that a date night isn't a special occasion, but something that is maybe a little bit more meaningful because I want to tie the memory back to this fragrance, and there's just something about this scent that is elevated. I don't want to be wearing jeans and a cute top, you know, I want to be wearing something really glamorous and having one of those very special, memorable moments. Next on the list is Coco Noir from Chanel. The little black dress of Chanel fragrances. This is another scent that is so sexy, seductive, perfect for a date night or a very special occasion out. It's also very fall winter appropriate. Coco Noir is a luminous oriental fragrance with notes of grapefruit, May rose, geranium rose leaf, Venezuelan tonka bean, patchouli, and vanilla. I really consider Coco Noir to be a front runner right there with Chance Eau Tendre, Coco Mademoiselle, as being one of the Chanel fragrances that has massive modern appeal. And part of that stems from the fact that there is this unisex quality about it. Now, this is marketed as a women's fragrance, and I feel like my most feminine self when I wear this. This is a very sexy women's fragrance. However, there is this masculine, feminine complexity about it, and I remember when I worked behind the Chanel counter, so many times whenever I would introduce this fragrance to somebody who had not smelled it previously, they would say, I like it, but it almost smells like a men's cologne. And there is that spiciness, there are woods in the base. Just like Black Orchid, because it appeals to both men and women, it's going to attract attention from both men and women. And not all fragrances do that, and it is very intentional. The reason Coco Noir comes in the classic Chanel bottle dressed in black is because it said that before Coco Chanel, no woman would dare dress in black. She is really responsible for making black fashionable and chic. But there's also a story in Chanel lore, and there are so many stories surrounding the House of Chanel, that says that this fragrance was inspired by the period of mourning following the tragic death of her one true love, Arthur Boy Capel. It said that after his death, Coco Chanel only wore black. So in a strange way, there is this masculine and feminine component at play here with this fragrance. It's a very beautiful tribute. The next fragrance on the list is Maison Francis Kurkdjian Baccarat Rouge 540. I have the Eau de Parfum. There is an extrait version that is also very beautiful. This is definitely my most complimented fragrance, hands down. I said these weren't in order by compliments. That would have been very difficult and very tricky. However, I can say with 100% confidence that this is the #1 fragrance. Every time I wear Baccarat Rouge 540, somebody pays me a compliment, they ask me what I'm wearing, but they don't just ask me, oh, what are you wearing? You smell really nice. It's like, tell me right now, what are you wearing? What is this fragrance? And I kind of laugh to myself and I giggle because I had that same a visceral reaction when I first smelled Baccarat Rouge 540, and I'm sure I had smelled it previously, but just wasn't truly aware in the moment. But I remember the exact day, the exact moment when I first smelled this fragrance, and I was working at Nordstrom, working an event with several makeup artists, and one of the artists had this on, and I stopped her and I said, what is that fragrance? And she just said, oh yeah, it's over at Neiman's, Baccarat, so casual. Because what I've discovered is that this fragrance truly is a cult classic. It has a cult following. This is truly one of those fragrances that you know about it, you're in the club, and if you don't know about it, then you're not a part of it. It's that type of fragrance. And there's a theme here, which I really just realized, that this is also considered to be a unisex fragrance. I did an unboxing and review of Baccarat. I will link it down below in case you'd like to check it out. In the video, I go really in depth with all of the details surrounding the fragrance. And to this day, I still get comments from angry men who are so upset that I failed to mention that Baccarat is unisex. So here I am putting it out there. It can be worn by both men and women. In my experience, I've only ever smelled this fragrance on a woman. I'm sure it would smell beautiful on a man because it is just a beautiful, intoxicating, addictive fragrance. It has notes of jasmine, saffron, cedarwood, ambergris, and vanilla sugar, which gives it that cotton candy sweetness that a lot of people pick up on. It's a very difficult scent to describe, but a lot of people will say, oh, it smells like cotton candy. And that's the vanilla sugar note, which is very different from typical vanilla or the vanilla notes that you'll find in a lot of different fragrances. That's just a very popular note. It is so nice. Baccarat is truly in a league of its own. So beautiful. And I'm happy to report that this is now available at Nordstrom, whereas previously I believe it was only available at Neiman Marcus, I imagine Saks, Bloomingdale's. Nordstrom has recently started carrying Baccarat as well. One of the most long-wearing fragrances ever. If I spray Baccarat, and I'll spray it on my outfit, spray it in my hair, sometimes days later, I can still smell Baccarat in my hair. If I spray it on a jacket or an outerwear piece, it will linger on that piece for days. Even my pillow that I sleep on will smell like Baccarat days later. And when I wear this fragrance out and about, if I'm around friends or people who love beauty and fragrance, they generally can point it out like, ooh, you're wearing Baccarat, I love it. But if they don't know what I'm wearing, they'll ask me about it. Every time I wear Baccarat, I receive compliments, questions. Strangers will stop me and ask me what I'm wearing. It is just one of the most powerful, sexy fragrances. The fourth fragrance on the list is Aventis For Her from Creed. And all of these fragrances that I've mentioned so far are some of the best luxury fragrances. If I were to create a list of fragrances that you need in your collection, these four would all be on there. They are not only beautiful with mass appeal, they're truly pillars of a remarkable luxury fragrance collection. Aventis For Her is a fragrance that I love to wear for daytime events. It is a power fragrance for women. It does for women what the original Aventis does for men. It is sexy, it exudes confidence and power. It's beautiful. It has top notes of Egyptian green apple, pink berries, Indonesian patchouli, Italian bergamot, middle notes of Bulgarian and Turkish roses, Indian sandalwood, stearax, and musk, and base notes of sweet peach, cassis, lilac, amber, and ylang ylang. It's so fresh and crisp. You get that green apple and bergamot right off the top. A beautiful daytime fragrance, but with the power and the seductive properties of an evening fragrance. I love Aventis For Her, and as much as I would always consider this to be one of my favorite fragrances of all time, one of the best luxury fragrances, I would not have necessarily added this to today's list, except for the fact that I've worn it recently a couple times and I've been stopped and I've received so many compliments and so many questions about it that I started to realize, oh, other people really love this fragrance as well. One occasion in particular stands out to me. We were celebrating a friend's birthday, so I was out with a big group of girls, and I was wearing something sort of plain and simple, very casual, and the two birthday girls were all dressed up. And my one friend Joy was wearing this gorgeous sequin sparkly gown. She had a crown and a sash, and we were just girls being girls, having fun celebrating birthdays. And she asked me, what fragrance is that you're wearing? And I said, oh, it's Aventis For Her. And then a couple minutes went by, we were just enjoying our brunch, and she said, now what fragrance are you wearing again? And I sort of laughed and I said, oh, it's Creed, Aventis For Her. That is just the power of fragrance. Here she is, dressed to the nines, decked out in her most glamorous birthday outfit, but she was so in love with this fragrance and asking me about this fragrance, and I think in that way, fragrance can be the ultimate accessory. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. If you have the right fragrance on, you'll turn heads and you'll draw attention and you'll pull compliments that you might not have expected. I remember that morning as I was getting ready to walk out the door, my husband said, you smell really nice. And it was such a genuine, sincere compliment. He was busy doing something. I was about to walk out the door, but the fragrance made him stop and feel compelled to let me know that he really liked the fragrance. Aventis For Her is funny because it's one of those fragrances that I can't really smell on myself, but other people can smell it, which I guess is maybe another reason why I'm so surprised that people are drawn to it so much. And they say that if you love a fragrance and you wear it and you can't smell it, but other people can, that it goes with your chemistry, or that's your fragrance, a fragrance that you should be wearing. The fifth and final fragrance is actually the latest to join my fragrance collection, and it's called Chavo Dor. This was sent to me complimentary from House of Sillage in celebration of the upcoming Lunar New Year. It is a bright floral fragrance, and it's the only one on the list that is overtly feminine, through and through, feminine to the core, and I absolutely love it. It has top notes of wild strawberries and magnolia, heart notes of black rose and Turkish rose, and base notes of vanilla and sandalwood. I personally love rose. I love rose notes in fragrances, and I think they can be somewhat polarizing. Either you love rose and you appreciate rose, or you think it smells like your grandmother. So I have met people on both sides, but I think this is such a modern rose fragrance that even those people who don't think they like rose will appreciate Chavo Dor. It comes in the beautiful red and gold cupcake. Each cap is adorned with 158 hand-placed Swarovski crystals. These cupcake bottles are so beautiful to display. Oh, I cannot get enough of this fragrance. It is so nice. It is such a soft and smooth floral rose fragrance. I remember when I first sprayed this, my initial response was, that is really nice. Wow, that is so lovely. There's something very airy and breathy about it. It is not heavy or overwhelming at all, even initially. But of course, with any luxury fragrance, the beauty is in the dry down. So it takes a while to truly appreciate what you're gonna get out of a fragrance. There are plenty of fragrances that smell great initially, and then as you wear it, you realize that's not for you. The case with this fragrance was that I really liked it, and then I came to love it. It is just truly, I would say, the most beautiful rose fragrance. And when I look at this bottle, the gold and the red and the rose notes, I know it's celebrating the Lunar New Year, but I cannot help but think of Valentine's Day, but almost like the most perfect romantic Valentine's Day of all time. I think of red roses and champagne, and it just ties in beautifully with the bottle. And this would be the type of fragrance that, in fact, I'm sure I will wear this whatever we do for Valentine's Day, because it's just such a romantic fragrance. And I've only worn this a couple times out and about because I received it a few weeks ago. And every time I've worn it, I've received such great feedback. And even my husband said to me the other day, I really like your fragrance, because I was asking him about it. I was sort of fishing, and he said to me, this is the type of fragrance that I really like when you wear, because some of the other fragrances are too heavy. And I kind of laughed because I thought, well, you gifted me Coco Noir, and he's somebody who douses himself in fragrance. God love him. But the fact that he pointed this out as like, this is a more like feminine light fragrance, and he really loved that on me, I thought was really nice. All compliments, all feedback aside, this is just one of those fragrances that I love to wear because the mood is just so beautiful. If you love rose, you will love this fragrance, even if you think you don't like rose. Sandalwood, vanilla, the berries, the floral notes. I think this is something that is worth trying. It may surprise you, and you might be like me and you might come to absolutely love it. And now to announce the surprise. As I mentioned, House of Sillage is celebrating the Lunar New Year, so we've teamed up to give away a $100 gift card to be used on the House of Sillage website from February 3rd through the 29th. So all you have to do to be entered in this giveaway is follow me on Instagram at Erin Nicole TV, follow House of Sillage on Instagram, and comment below on this video. Include your IG handle so I can contact you. The winner will be chosen at random 1 week from today on Friday the 31st. Good luck to absolutely everybody who enters, and thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, your questions down below. I love hearing from you guys, especially when it comes to fragrance. You guys have great taste, so if you have a favorite fragrance that when you wear it, you get tons of compliments, be sure to leave it down below in the comment section so we can keep the conversation going. As always, I will be linking all of the products mentioned, everything that I used today on my face down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.